video edition here. I'm gonna be addressing no hot air coming out of the whoa. So you've got the AC climate system all set up and everything is as it should. However, there is no hot air coming out of the vents. There are factors that can actually cause this, and I'm going to be brief with teaching you guys out of my 10 years of experience what you need to do, what button you need to push, where you need to go to be able to rectify that very problem. All the circuits where it passes is what I'm going to be teaching you guys. However, if you need more thorough information about this, you want to buy my course or you want to join my membership, you want to become a boss in this very field, like you want to choose the career of repairing car AC, which is very cool and clean and doesn't make a mess and doesn't get you dirty. Well, joining my membership is not going to solve that problem. So what you want to do is to buy my course and sharing my experience and teaching you guys from my 10 years experience fixing different car making model regardless is where I'm going to be giving you the holy grail of information, which after you're going to become a boss in this very field. Take all that money from that wallet into your pocket, because that's the name of the game. Now let's get before you start reaching out that there is no hot air coming out of your vents. You may be experiencing winter, because some people who are not experiencing winter really don't care about hot air coming out of their vents. So experiencing winter, a lot of snowflakes, a lot of snow marching up your car, and you need to keep the inside of your cabin warm. That is when you need a hot air coming out of the vents. So the first thing I'm going to do here is hood. So let me open the hood for this very car here. Let's go over here. So let me explain something here. The engine is working, the AC is getting cold. I need to shut the engine down so you guys can hear my voice and get me correctly and understand how this heater thing works, so you can know whatever you're doing each time you switch over from here to here. You should understand the effect you're making. So let me shut the car down. Okay, now let's get to it. Now the AC system of your car, or the heater system of your car, there are two guys that are like heaven and hell, which is just a fiction, or which is just script from the colonial master.
Fortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from truth.
Now the other thing which you need to understand about the heater and the AC system is that there are two words. One is hot, one is cold. The one that is cold is the AC system that uses this very circuit here. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Now, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, you should be asking, so where is the circuit for the heater? That is the interesting question. If you have asked that very question, let's proceed to the next phase. You have your condenser here, which is the first one before this guy here. This is the radiator, and this is the condenser. The condenser helps to condense refrigerant and condense it back to liquid that goes into this pipe here, which they call the liquid line. That's what I'm going to stop about there. Now, so what happens about how does the hot air in your car get generated? That is what you need to understand here. Now you have the radiator, which most of you have conceptually believed that is actually meant to cool your car. Yes, but the auto manufacturers are very smart. They're using one stone to kill two birds. And how did they do that? They simply did that by simply hot liquid that is being heated up by your engine through the combustion process and gets dumped into the radiator. Instead of all this to be used to get down into this radiator here and back and forth into this engine, which is a cycle of operation of the cooling system of your vehicle, they decided that instead of coolant to get put back in here, they decided, okay, when it's hot and coming out of the engine, instead of coming straight to the radiator here, it should first go into your cabin. And you can see that two pipe right there. Okay, you can see that two pipe right there. It's a two pipe somewhere here. Hope you guys can see there are two pipe right in there. One is going in and one is coming out. So where does it go in there? Does it go in there to meet the evaporator? There is evaporator, which I'm gonna put the picture somewhere here if I remember. then there is what we call the heater core. So these two pipes are meeting the evaporator, while that two pipe right there are meeting the heater core. So the heater core is having a liquid, the coolant, that is being heated up by your engine, and that is what heated up the cabin. If you're not getting any heat out of the vent, check for that pipe if it is plugged. If it is plugged, there is going to be a problem, and if it is not connected, there is not going to be hot air going into your cabin. So that is what you need to know. Now, if it is not heating up quickly, then it means the thermostat of your car might not be there. Right. Let's go to here, which is this guy here. This is your climate control system. So the first thing here is ensure that this knob here is not coming to the blue area. The more blue it gets, it means the more cold it gets. Why didn't they put the cold sign here? They put blue. Did that mean that blue means cold? Now, some other car make, like you can see here, it's a little bit confusing, right? Because you're not seeing cold here and you're not seeing hot here. Maybe this could be the reason why your car is not bringing hot air here. So what you need to do is to take this button here, turn it here, and turn it all the way here. And automatically, if I have my thermometer right here now, you start feeling a hot sensation coming out of this very place. Oh, it's getting really hot already. My thermometer is not here, so but it's getting hot in here already. However, if you, after turning it, something happened when I turned this, and that is very, very much more complicated, much more complex to discuss all in this very video here. That is why I say buy my course or join my membership. But I'm going to teach you some of the things which you need to do. Also ensure that you check the coolant pump, as it's responsible for transporting the heat generator from your engine to circulate through the heater core. So if it is bad, your heater will not bring any heat into the cabin. The second thing which you need to do, if suppose this is not working, different car make and model have their own configuration. There is another side which you need to go right now, which is where this command which you give here is coming from. That command there is the AC climate control system. The AC climate control system is actually here, but it's not here. What do I mean by that? It means it's hidden somewhere within, it's where it's not going to keep things messy. It's hidden underneath the dashboard. So you need to find your car make and model and find where that AC climate control system is. If it is 40, then there's going to be a problem. All the information which you're pressing here is not going to be related to actuating the hot air, transiting from hot air to warm. I hope you get that right. Now, another thing again which you also need to pay attention to is for different car make and model have a different configuration. So when you want the hot air coming out, look at this very sign here. That's a sign of hot air boiling. So you want to press it when you want the hot air to start coming out of the vent. So make sure that this is pressed and make sure that this is turned to the red side. Among the three factors which you need to consider when your heater is not working properly or not sending heat into the cabin is a plugged pulling filter. This pulling filter is actually set to shade you from every dirt and debris that's supposed to be hitting your respiratory system. So most often times it's actually forgotten underneath the glove compartment where it's actually designed to be. So you need to find it and clean it or replace it, and you are on your way solving the problem of heater blowing. Your car engine is to your heater what AC compressor is to your AC. Car engine need to generate enough heat which is going to be transported into the heater core by the coolant pump. However, if your car hasn't warmed up to operating temperature, you're pretty much wasting your time and wishing on a horse, because there's not going to be any heat that's going to go into that cabin until your engine has attained operating temperature. And the last straw that breaks the camel's back is a plugged heater core, which you can see the two pipes sending it into the cabin from here, from the video footage here. So if you have a plugged heater core, the dirt within it can actually shade the heat from being transferred into the side cabin. So what you want to do here is to flush it very thorough, as it's a lot of work to replace it. You have to flush it very clean, then the problem is solved. Then couple it back, couple the two holes that send coolant in and the one that returns. Do give this video a thumbs up. If you have any further question, drop it in the comment section. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.